Hey guys, happy Monday and welcome back. All right, we're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 4 before we jump on with Jason to recap it live. Guys, if you didn't watch the reunion, Nicki Minaj dragged these ladies. She questioned Giselle's fading looks. She said Ashley had no storyline, questions Wendy's husband's cheating rumors, and she shades Mia Thornton a little bit. Plus, she went hard on Candace. All right, well, we have all the details on that and more. And of course, we'll be back today at 11:15 a.m. to recap this with Jason on his channel, Down with Jason. But in the meantime, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so if you didn't watch the episode, Nicki Minaj started with Ashley Darby and suggested that she lugged her breast milk all the way over to this girls' trip in order to start some drama and be a minion for Gizelle. Now, when she went in on this, she was like, are you saying that you didn't lug your breast milk all the way up there to start some drama because you had no storyline? And I was like, no. Did she really just say that? And she kept telling her, you don't have a storyline. Ashley Darby kind of corrected Nicki and said, hold on, wait a minute. I have a repertoire of different things that I've been through throughout the few seasons. So I've been around. I definitely have a storyline. I've had several storylines. So I don't think that's necessarily fair to go after. It was also funny because another question that Nicki asked is, if you had $100 million in the bank, would you have gotten with Michael? She said, yes, I was attracted to Michael. Nicki looks at her and goes, what were you attracted to? She said he was smart, charismatic, and I was also physically attracted to him. Nicki just let that one go and she's like, okay. But she also moved on and she decided to go a little bit in on Gizelle. She told Gizelle, well, she suggested that Gizelle has changed her looks a little bit. Her looks have maybe faded, and I don't know what she was saying. Listen, I think Gizelle is a very beautiful woman, and I don't know where this was necessarily coming from, but okay. She was going in and she's like, you look a little bit different. And Gizelle was like, are you age shaming me? Are you beauty shaming me? She said, no. But when Ray, that's what she calls Karen's husband, she calls him Ray. She said, when Ray told you, eventually your looks will fade and you have to find a man, you said that he would be 10 feet under before these looks ever fade. So now what do you have to say about that? I was like, I cannot believe Nicki is going there. Well, Wendy ends up eventually piping up and said she doesn't think that Ashley was being malicious, but Nicki Minaj is not buying that. Nicki thinks Ashley should have just stayed home with her kids. And then Candace tries to interrupt and Nicki says, Candy girl, take a seat. Nicki obviously was taking her side gig very seriously, and she did not accept Candace interrupting her because Candace did it a couple of times, and she said, you need to go in the back and get your projector and do that. Take several seats. Now, if you see the way that she questioned Candace, because I'm going to flop all over the place right now, especially because we will be recapping this live. She goes in on her and she's like, how many albums have you sold? She's like, well, I've sold 500,000 albums. She's like, no, girl, you haven't sold 500,000 albums. How many albums did you sell? Not how many downloads. And she's like, well, I got to check. Let me look at my phone. She takes a second and she's like, I just got the stats. And Mia said, well, why don't you know this? Shouldn't you know this? And she's like, well, I just got them. And then it comes out that she sold over 20-something thousand albums, which Nicki kind of gave her some faces at. And I think what Nicki was trying to say with her eyes is like, wait a minute, 20-something thousand albums and 500,000, those are two totally different numbers. If you watch the episode, you'll see Chris Bassett comes in at the end, and it looks like Chris, how do I say this? It looks like Chris was enjoying a few cocktails. And to be fair, let me just say this, if I were at the reunion, I would be enjoying a few cocktails. So I'm not blaming him for that. However, I would take a Karen Huger route and not probably drink while I have to film. That way I was completely there, cohesive and ready to go, or coherent, sorry, but ready to go. I wouldn't have sat there and had a few cocktails, only because eventually we all know once you start having a few cocktails, you sort of lose control over your emotions. Now, I think that Chris it made sense that he was annoyed that she was questioning her about the numbers. And he felt like Nikki, was going in pretty hard on his wife, Candace. But I agree with Andy Cohen, Giselle, and the other women when they interrupted him and said, wait a minute, Chris, what are you talking about? This is good for her career. She just made her sing a cappella. Like, she sang Drive Back and she killed it. I think that Candace is incredibly talented when it comes to singing, when it comes to acting. I don't know if she makes the best housewife because, again, I feel like her emotions get the best of her. But if she wasn't on the show, I don't really know at this point what we would have been watching for a storyline this season. So I'm going to give that to her as well. As for Candace, we'll see what happens if she does have longevity on this show. But I think that the show could eventually hinder her acting and singing career only because it paints her in a totally different light. On the show, we see conflict and resolution. We see, her clap back. She is a wordsmith and she is the queen of landing those digs, which is something that we can all appreciate. But when you're breaking into a new business, a new industry, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on you being like, is this someone we want to represent our company, our label, or our brand? I think that's very fair. Nikki decides to inquire if Gizelle and Robin are secret lovers, which I thought was interesting. And they're like, no. She's like, wait a minute. You're saying that you two haven't been sneaking around doing the dirty and whatnot? You guys aren't secretly getting freaky? And they were like, no, we're not getting freaky. But Nikki had a lot of questions about people getting their freak on because she also wanted to know if Robin's husband, fiance, Juan, and Ashley Darby's husband, Michael, could have ever potentially had a thing. And she's like, wait, does your husband have other gay friends? And Ashley goes, wait a minute. Are you implying that my husband's gay? My husband's not gay. And Nikki said, I take that back. That's not what I was trying to do. I wouldn't imply that anybody was gay when I know that they're so obviously not. All right. Well, moving on, she does ask Mia Thornton about her plastic surgery. And she told her that one of her favorite moments on the show was when she shared the journey with her mom. But Nikki did check Candace and Mia saying, when it comes to your moms and these conversations that you're having, you are a grown woman and you need to plant your feet in the ground and let them know, I'm not going to take this. I'm a grown woman and we need to have some of these tougher conversations, whether you like them or not. For Candace, she said, it's not that easy. You don't understand, but okay. And Mia was like, I agree. And hopefully we continue to move on. I also agree with Candace in this. I think it's easier said than done. We all have different dynamics, relationships with our parents, families. You can't tell somebody how they should have this conversation when you don't actually know that person and know how they're going to react. So for Candace, I think she was right on this one. But again, we will be back to talk about all the details and more. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Also, comment below and tell me, what did you think about season 6, part 4 of the reunion? Did it live up to your expectations or were you a little bummed by it? I don't think I was bummed at all. I'm going to give it a solid 8.5. Give us your rating. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you so very soon. Bye, guys.